Today, we're diving into Dexcom, a company you probably know for its glucose monitors. But here's the thing. The real story isn't just about that little device you wear on your arm. Nope, it's about the absolutely massive and valuable stream of data that flows from it. And to kick things off, let's just start with a number. A big number. $5.2 billion. That's the top end of what Dexcom is projected to make in revenue by 2026. A number like that tells you one thing for sure. We are talking about a true giant in the health tech world.
So just how big is that number really? Well, let's put it in context. Look at this. Dexcom's projections have them earning more than double the revenue of Teladoc. And Teladoc is a huge name in virtual healthcare. They are just blowing past the competition. So, what in the world is driving that kind of value?
And that right there is the heart of our explainer today. You don't get a $5 billion valuation just for a piece of hardware. No way. The real value is in that constant, incredibly precious stream of health data the device produces. And the key to unlocking all that value? It's a little piece of tech called an API.
Okay, so what is an API? The easiest way to think about it is like a secure digital doorway. When a user gives permission, and that's the key part, it lets totally different software programs talk to each other and share data. It's what allows a whole universe of new health tools to be built right on top of Dexcom's data platform. It's a gateway for innovation.
All right, so let's try something. Let's put ourselves in the shoes of a software developer. You've got this brilliant idea for a new app that could change the game for people managing their diabetes. All you need to do is get through that digital doorway to get the data. Sounds pretty straightforward, right? Well, as it turns out, the reality is a whole lot more complicated.
In fact, it's less like walking through a doorway and more like running an integration gauntlet. You have to create an account, build your app, register it, generate all these secure credentials to keep data safe, test everything in a sandbox, which is basically a fake environment, and then you submit it for review and just wait. It's a long, pretty grueling process.
And don't just take my word for it. This quote comes right out of an integration guide for developers. It spells it out right there. This isn't a weekend project. We're talking about a multi-week waiting game, and you're completely at the mercy of Dexcom's internal review schedule.
But here's the real kicker. This is the big twist in the story. After a developer goes through that entire painful gauntlet, they finally get access to the data and they discover something that's, well, a massive problem.
So here it is, the big catch. The official, approved data stream from Dexcom is delayed by 3 hours. Now, this is mostly because of strict FDA regulations around real-time medical data. The API is what they call retrospective, which is just a fancy way of saying it's only good for looking back at what happened, not what's happening right now.
And this quote from a Reddit discussion perfectly captures the reaction from real people. For managing something like diabetes, where what you do in the moment is absolutely critical, a 3-hour delay makes the data, well, pretty much useless for taking any real-time action.
So let's just break down this tension. On one side, you have the official API. It gives you historical data, mainly because of all the FDA hoops you have to jump through for real-time medical stuff. But on the other side, what developers and patients really need is real-time data to make decisions right now. This gap is so big that some developers have even resorted to using an unofficial, undocumented API just to get the timely info they need.
So, if an individual developer is facing this huge wall, how does anyone build powerful, real-time tools with this data? The answer, it turns out, isn't some clever bit of code. It's all about high-level corporate strategy.
And this is where Teladoc Health comes into the story. Instead of trying to run that public developer gauntlet, Teladoc just went straight to the top. They formed a direct, strategic partnership with Dexcom, letting them bypass all the limitations that smaller developers face.
And the promise that came out of this partnership? It's pretty amazing. They call it CGM-powered insights. The idea is to combine Dexcom's glucose data with other info like your activity or what you're eating, and then use that to build a complete health profile and give you truly personalized advice.
Of course, behind that glossy marketing promise is a mountain of heavy-duty technical work. I mean, just look at these snippets from Teladoc's own API documentation. This is how they actually make it happen, by building their own massive, complex infrastructure to manage everything, stuff that's just completely out of reach for a solo developer. You know, this whole case study, from the frustrating data delay all the way to the big money corporate partnership, it actually tells us a lot about where digital health is going. It's not enough to just collect data anymore. It's about who has the power and the resources to actually turn that data into something useful.
And to build that kind of value, you really need what you might call the holy trinity of health tech skills. First, you need a physician to provide the clinical knowledge and oversight.
Then you need a machine learning engineer who can build models that predict things from all that data. And finally, you need a front-end engineer to take all that complexity and present it in a simple dashboard that a doctor can understand in 60 seconds flat.
So what's the big takeaway here? It's that our own personal health data isn't just a list of numbers anymore. It's becoming a platform. And that leaves us with a really important question to think about. As this trend continues, who will have the access, the resources, and the expertise to build the tools on that platform that will actually help keep us healthy?